may remember a segment on tropicals a few years ago from Brian's Botanicals in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, we're back with Brian today, and Brian has really been working hard the last few years on breeding some new cannas, new elephant ears. Tell me about some of these new plants you're working on.
Well, I've been breeding elephant ears and tropicals for almost 12 years now, and finally some things are starting to show that they're worthwhile to put on the market. And a few of the things is like this cannas. We got a series called the Punch series, and this is lemon punch. And originally I was breeding for big bold foliage because that's what I personally like. But then a lot of people were telling me I needed to get some compact small plants.
Right.
So the Punch series is basically dwarf cannas that stay roughly 2 to 4 feet tall. And they have a couple good habits. One is they self-clean. The leaves, the flowers will actually fall off after they're done flowering. And they also bloom profusely. So we've got lemon punch, and also have another one called Maui punch, and we've got new varieties on the way.
Great. And there's some other things in here too. This another canna here.
This is a banana.
A banana.
This is a hardy banana. We selected this one out of 500 seeds or so from China. This is Itinerans. It's a section that came out of China, but we picked them because this one will actually get a real nice red trunk with age. And it's as hardy as Bajju, so everybody's familiar with the hardy banana, but this is a new variety that we're working with that gets a nice red trunk with age. The new leaves have come out with a red underside.
So probably at least zone 6.
It's been here, outside here for over 9 years with some protection.
Wow. And then the other thing I know you're working on a lot are the elephant ears.
Yeah, the Colocasias are one of the main things. I've been breeding, there's a couple of varieties that I found were real cold hardy, so we've been working to make them more colorful. Sure. One was this one here called Sangria, which gets a nice dark green leaves and some purple veins, and then a nice
really dark red stem.
Pink China has just a light pink, and then this one has a real dark red. And then this one here is Madeira, which will get, in shade it'll get dark purple veins, but in full sun it'll turn solid black, and it stays about 3 to 4 foot.
So some of these are more compact varieties. You know, a lot of the old elephant ears are so big that I think a lot of people felt like they couldn't really accommodate them.
Right, the Madeira stays around 3 to 4 foot. The main problem was I had Black Magic would never survive for me all winter. So I was working to make something that would survive. Here, if you
hardier.
Much hardier. So if you mulch these in the wintertime, zone 6, you can overwinter them outdoors.
Sure. Now you've got some other ones down here too, like this little lime green one.
This is one of our newer ones. It's being released this year. It's called Red-Eyed Gecko. It's chartreuse with a red dot in the center of each leaf. It gets around 3 to 4 feet tall, and has a real nice bright leaf on it. And one of my favorite new ones is this one here. We're calling this Royal Gigantes, and it's there's a variety out called Gigantea, Thailand giant. This is a hybrid, and this will get large purple leaves this big or bigger. And in the sun it kind of gets a slate blue, but in some shade, afternoon shade, it gets like a dark purple.
Almost dark purple. So this is kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum from those compact ones. This one's going to be really giant.
A lot of people want, when you want an elephant ear, you want a big elephant ear.
Right.
So this
will be one of the first kind of dark leafed forms that gets really huge.
Really monstrous, yeah.
So tell me about this variety of canna.
This variety is one we call Bird of Paradise, and this is about half the height here. It'll grow about 7 to 8 feet tall, and the leaves are going to be like a slate blue green, and then it'll have purple veins, and then it have medium to the large pink flowers on it.
Right. So it's about half the height now that it will be.
Right. It's
once
mostly
it really starts going.
It's mostly for foliage, but the flowers are just a extra on top.
Well, it's a spectacular color and texture in the garden, whether it's blooming or not. So this is another one of your new introductions. This is Bikini-tini, is that
right? This is one of the varieties we've been breeding with. It's a polyploid, so it has extra thick leaves and a real cupped up habit where it holds water. It usually grows around 6 to 7 feet tall, has real dark stems, and one of the main benefits of it is it's really cold hardy. So zone 6 or so, you can cut it down to the ground and mulch it for winter, and it should return every year.
So hardiness really is one of your main goals, especially in the elephant ears.
Yeah, when I first started breeding, after a while your back gets sore taking stuff in, so I was hoping I could work on making things where you wouldn't have to dig them up, but just protect them with some leaves or some mulch and leave them out and not have to do all the hard work in the fall.
So there's kind of two basic genus of elephant ears that are on the market.
Right.
Primarily the Colocasias, which we've looked at,
Right.
heart-shaped leaves, and then the Alocasias.
This is an Alocasia here, and I bred this one. It's not cold hardy for our zone, but it's cold hardy for like zone 7B and
Further
a little further south. But it's a lot easier to grow than some of the other more finicky varieties. This one will get up to about 4 to 6, even 7 feet tall, and it has a kind of light colored veins, but one of the main features is the dark maroon undersides.
Right.
And it's great for containers, it's great for in the landscape for the summer, and even further south you can use it as a landscape plant all year.
Right, and this one's called?
This is a Alocasia Mayan mask.
So this is also an Alocasia.
This is a new hybrid we've been working on, and it's called Zulu, Alocasia Zulu mask, and it's going in our mask series. It has a more streamlined edge to it and white veins. It only stays about 2 to 4 feet tops, and it'll get a light pink to white stem, and it's also real hardy and tough like the other one. And it also have that real dark undersides as well.
The really beautiful leaf. And with these Alocasias, a lot of times their leaves stand up a little bit more, so you can actually see the back side of the leaf.
Right.
too.
The other variety, Mayan mask will, this one will have the leaves that face you a little bit more, but these leaves get really long, about 2 feet long, and real narrow with real long lobes in the back.
Right.
Kind of look like rabbit ears.
So the difference maybe in growing requirements between the Alocasias and the Colocasias?
Well, you don't want the Colocasias, you can almost let them sit in water at times. They can handle a lot. These need drying out between watering, and usually a lot of the varieties won't take full sun, but these hybrids here will take a lot more sun.
More sun. So,
Right.
so many times with the Alocasias, they need a little bit more shade maybe.
Especially if they got real colorful leaves.
Sure.
So, but these varieties here, we've been breeding them with some of the more easy varieties, and then we'll get a tougher, easier plant to grow than some of the, there's a lot of them that are finicky.
They're really finicky.
Yeah, and then these here they've got some good genes in them, so they're a lot tougher than the other.
You know, even though I'm surrounded by tropicals here in this garden, they mix in really well with other garden plants. Here they're growing with daylilies, with euphorbia, and even some hardy cactus behind me. They're perfect for carrying us through the hottest, longest months of the summer. They thrive in our tropical heat in Tennessee. So think about adding some tropical plants to your landscape. Brian does sell plants through his internet website. For more information, you can log on to our website at volunteergardener.org.